So it's very early, around 5 a.m. in South Korea, and this lady is waiting for the elevator in an empty lobby of her apartment residence, when suddenly a large man comes from behind her, lifts his leg, and bam! She falls to the floor in shock, and then he keeps hitting her until she gets unconscious. He then proceeds to carry her unconscious body away. So on May 22nd, 2022, Minhee was returning back to her apartment after a night out, and she is seen on CCTV walking slowly, looking tired, and when she returned to her building and pressed the elevator call button, she visibly relaxed and started using her phone when suddenly a large man came from behind her and lifted his leg to kick her head in a roundhouse kick without any warning. He then kept hitting her until she became unconscious. He physically assaulted her in the view of CCTV camera, and he knew the camera since he carried her collapsed body to the building emergency exit, and for 7 minutes before being seen returning to the CCTV view and exiting the building alone. What on earth happened in those 7 minutes is the biggest question, and also why was Minhee attacked by a complete stranger? South Korea is a relatively safe country with more than 1.7 million public CCTVs, and Busan is the second largest city in Korea, so most people walk the streets with less fear. At 5:21 a.m., resident walks to the mailbox of the building when he notices a woman knocked out, laying down in front of emergency stairs exit, and it's uncommon to find a woman passed out in the public in South Korea. So the resident decides to take a closer look. That's why he notices that something is very wrong. The woman's face is badly beaten up and she is bleeding. Her top is lifted up and her pants were unzipped and unbuttoned, and later when the medical staff removed her jeans, they realized that her underwear was only on one leg. It looked like someone had tampered with her clothes. So Min is immediately rushed to the hospital, and she had a traumatic brain hemorrhage that took 4 months of treatment plus massive medication. She had to have sticks on her head because she bruises all over her face. She lost sensation in her right leg and ankle, and everyone was scared that she wouldn't be able to walk again. It would take many weeks of physiotherapy just for her to walk again, and she doesn't even remember what happened to her. It's like her brain blocked off all that traumatic incident, so she doesn't know what happened to her in those 7 minutes, which the CCTV couldn't capture, and the only person who knew was her attackee. In the meantime, the man who had attacked her, let's call him Lee, he ran to his girlfriend, asked her to hide him since teacher police was looking for him. The girlfriend then booked him a motel where he could hide, but he was so anxious, which made the girlfriend confused since Mr. Lee had never stressed over police looking for him. You see, Lee had been a criminal from his teenage years, and he had just gotten out of prison recently for blackmailing people. So Mr. Lee was blackmailing men by setting them up with a girl who was once a victim of human trafficking, and when the girl met with the clients in a motel Mr. Lee had arranged, Lee would burst through the motel door and say that the girl was a minor, and he would say that as the girl's big brother he should be paid, or he would turn them in. He did it for some time before he was caught by the police and sent to prison. And he had just gotten out of prison recently. He had gotten a job so as to try to be a better person. He was working as a club bouncer, but the club had to fire him because he was trying to take advantage of drunk girls. Mr. Lee borrowed his girlfriend's phone and begun searching about attempted murder, assault near Busan, and other similar titles because he knew by now the police and media should be aware of the incident. I think he wanted to know if the attacker had been identified. So Lee was arrested after 3 days of the attack. When the police interrogated him, he tried to play stupid by claiming he was drunk, and the reason why he mercilessly attacked the woman was that she had given him a dirty look and that she didn't smile when they passed by each other on the road. He also claimed that he was so drunk that he didn't even know he had attacked a woman or a man.
그 사람 제가 너무 맞췄습니다. 뭐라 하길래 그냥 저한테 그런 줄 알고 솔직히 좀 갑자기 그냥 화가 나더라고. 술을 먹고 일어날 사람이 이상하게 됐는지도 모르겠는데 그러다가 피해자 눈이 마주쳤는데 저는 뭐 통화를 하는 게 저한테 뭐라 하는 걸로 들었어요. 그만큼 화가 났다. 정확하게 어떤 말을 들었는지 기억이 안 나는데 거기서 술도 마셨어요.
The police called him out for his lies by showing him CCTV of him stalking her for 10 minutes as she walked home. On camera, he was seen hiding behind cars so as not to be seen, which shows that he was not as drunk as he claimed to be. They asked him what he did in those 7 minutes, which CCTV didn't record, and he said he was just lightly tapping her so as to wake her up.
무서워가지고 사람이 갑자기 말이 없으니까 죽고 싶어서 그래서 제가 이렇게 쳤거든요. 네, 사람이 네. 이리 와서 뭐 했어요? 그 구석으로. 이렇게 빰 이렇게 친 것 같습니다.
During investigation, when he was asked about the possibility of this being a sexually motivated case, where he attacked the victim so that he may assault her, he claimed he couldn't sexually assault her since he had a girlfriend. The police also couldn't charge him for sexual assault without victim's statement and DNA evidence, which was lacking at the first trial. So they had to charge him for attempted murder, which carried a maximum of 20 years. In the first trial, the judge sentenced him to 12 years. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because he wrote an apologetic letter to the court system. The victim, Min, didn't even know about the letter until she got information about it online. Min never got an apology for what she suffered, and she still has PTSD from the event. Some past friend of Lee said that Lee once told him that he had sexually assaulted Min, and his ex-girlfriend also said that Lee used to have fantasies of non-consensual sex. So all these things together made the police review the case, and finally on May 31st, 2023, the judge sentenced him to 20 years. Lee made an appeal for his case and said that since he was drunk, the appropriate time he served should be 3 years instead of 20 years. The judge rejected his reasoning and still sentenced him to 20 years. That's all about the Busan roundkick case. Sometimes it's just a bad day, and even walking past someone can lead to bad outcomes. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to comment and like. And stay safe out there. Love you all.